Hey there. Have you ever wondered to yourself, what's it all for? I know that this is something that I've thought about quite a bit in the past. And what I've found is that, when you think about we like go to school and rush and get a job and go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to the gym, whatever. And then you think, like, what is it all for? I got to a point when I was pretty like far into my career where I just got kind of like sick of it, and I started asking that question, what's it all for? And I realized along the way, like, I had picked up some bad habits. Like, I was going out a lot and had too many drinks and picked up smoking somewhere. Like, what the heck, all of these things that just really didn't feel like they were me. So I just got to a point where I was like, I need to make a change. I don't like what's happening here. And took a step back. And what I ended up doing was, for my own clarity, was to just go outside. I thought back to some of my happiest times in my life, like when I was a kid. I used to love going outside and riding my bike and playing with other neighborhood kids and, things like that. So I was like, hey, there's, a lot of good hiking around me. I think I'm just going to start doing it. And then all of a sudden, it kind of became like my thing. I just really loved doing it, and the momentum kept building. So it's like the endorphins, from the exercise kept kind of, I think, helping me. And I do believe that it's like, we're in the spot that we're in for a reason, whatever it may be. And so I wanted to share with you some of my story about how I got to this point. It has been many, many years since I had faced those questions and made those changes, but I think it's good to reflect on that just in general in your life to see, where you're at. And what I have found was by being outside, for me, it started with hikes, uh, you know, burning some calories, right? Maybe getting a little color in the summer, getting away from everything around you, um, work, stress. I sat at a desk for most of my career, and so just uh, being able to be out, like where I am right now, like all this space, around me, just was like kind of foreign to me, and I loved it. It was awesome. I got hooked. Um, you find, I found that all of a sudden I wanted to do it more. And so I was starting to replace some of my bad habits with good habits. And what I can say is that it is possible to do that. So when I share this information with you, I share it with you because I hope that it'll help to kind of open your mind about what the outdoors can do for you. Even if you are already an outdoorsy type of person, to just remind ourselves to appreciate it. I don't know what it is. Is it as simple as it being a reminder to what life was like when we were little kids? We didn't have the pressures, we didn't have the obligations. We kind of had someone telling us what to do, where to go. We didn't have to really think for ourselves that much. We just sort of did what we were told and, hope for the best. And when I look back, I'm very grateful, obviously, for the upbringing that I had and the parents that I have, because when I look back on my life, some of my all-time favorite memories by far are like the simple things, like being outside. We used to, when I was a kid, oh, I loved it. Well, I mean, there's a million things. Like, I was on a little league team and did Boy Scouts and all sorts of cool, like kind of outdoorsy stuff. But I remember we used to have this thing that we would do when I was in junior high and high school. We called it Family Fun Day. And it was really fun because, my parents were pretty young. My brother and I were young. And my sister, she wasn't even born yet. This is a while ago. She's older now. She's like an adult now. And, we used to go to this park. We would go like get lunch and then go play at this park. We would like play frisbee and catch and run around, and it was just real physical and work up a sweat, tire those kids out, which I'm sure is what the motive was. But I look back on that stuff years later as some of my favorite memories. Being outside, the fresh air, breathing it in, looking all around us, like what's around us, especially when you're like hiking. You really need to kind of constantly be aware of like what's going on around you, you know? Like I have a pretty, I don't want to jinx myself, like pretty good track record of being aware of what's going on around, but also being prepared too. Like when you go on a hike, you want to do things like, you know, make sure you've got your water with you, put on some sunscreen. Summer months, depends on where you are, put on some bug spray, things like that to just kind of help protect yourself. In my backpack, I've got a first aid kit, not just for myself, but you know, if you're hiking and you come across someone who needs help, you don't want to be all like, I don't know. So to be useful to someone else if need be. I've talked about it before, carry the tin foil in your backpack in case, gosh forbid, you sprain your ankle or something and you get stuck and you can't move and you need to like reflect light in an unnatural way to maybe get attention of a helicopter or, you know, something like that. Just be prepared, you know, when you're going outside, know where you're going and know what you need to do to be prepared for a safe and good time there. So back to the what's it all for, right? When I think back on my life and the experiences that I've had, all of the good things for me started happening after I really embraced the outdoors. And anyone who really knows me, I think, would probably agree with that. For many years, I did the whole, you know, 9 to 5, back and forth, go to work, go to gym, back home, watch TV, party, whatever. And that was, you know, fun to a degree, but ultimately not really the best thing for you. So things started changing for me, and it was kind of like the snowball effect. Like I found when I would go out hiking and stuff by myself, or with friends, that hey, I really like this. Next thing I knew, I was doing it for my kind of regular exercise. I started to replace the gym with that. I liked the oxygen. I liked being outside. I started to pay more attention to nature and all that was around me. And I like to paint and do some art stuff in my spare time. And I personally believe that like nature is the best art teacher, because when you look all around, there is beauty everywhere in the art. I'm in the nature. It's like everywhere you look, nature is art. And so I started like doing more painting. I really pay attention to things like what the birds are doing and how they're living their lives. And, you know, they're not just, you know, nuisances at a park trying to get breadcrumbs from you or whatever. It's like they are living creatures that really, they love their babies and their parents just as much as humans do, and they take care of each other just as much. And I feel like we so often dismiss them. And the same goes for even like bigger animals, like, you know, javelina or coyote or things like that. Like, I think, you know, we can often be scared of them, which, you know, obviously they can be dangerous, so you want to be safe. But understanding them just brings a lot more, I think, happiness to your own life, and just the appreciation and living in harmony is really what kind of helps you out too, you know? So understanding their needs, what they're trying to do with their lives, it matters. And it matters for them and it matters for you. But just being outside, and I think it does kind of bring you back in touch with that little kid who maybe didn't really have all the stresses that the grown adult has, you know? And I don't know, I think it kind of helps, like in the big picture, makes me feel like, you know, grateful for everything that I have, of course, but also very like in touch with my real self, not just, you know, the robot who goes to work every day and yes sir, no sir, whatever. And, you know, just being able to, you know, fresh air, I mean, the playfulness of it all, getting in touch with that inner child. And I think that that is a huge, huge benefit of that. And maybe it is tapping into something that we had when we were little kids. But guess what? You can bring it into your adult life. I do it pretty much every day. So something I would highly recommend. I think because being outside, it does kind of evoke that sense of almost like the freedom that you had when you were a kid, like I had mentioned, I just remember, riding my bike on, dirt trails and stuff in some neighborhood under construction. And to this day, I love driving past or through a neighborhood under construction. I mean, I do it all the time actually on various bike rides and walks. First of all, I guess the whole, opportunity and the promise of new and all these families are going to live here. So all these years of being outdoors, I mean, there are some things I'll admit I don't love. Like I've tried camping many times. I'm not the best at it. I oftentimes end up sleeping in my car. I've been to some pretty cool campgrounds too, but you got to find what's right for you, explore, discover. Some people like to do outdoor stuff in groups, I had a friend who was on like a outdoor, like a, what's that called? Like dodgeball league. He like loved that. Actually, I had a couple friends that did that. I've had friends that have joined different, like, pickleball, tennis, different kind of groups. So there's a bunch of different stuff that you can do. But I feel that if you give yourself the opportunity to, get outside, experience what's around you in your area, take a deep breath, look around, you're going to start to discover new things about yourself that can really only help you grow. Part of my journey has also been yoga. Just not something I would have ever considered 10 years ago. But for whatever reason, as part of my evolution, as I started to get more introspective and appreciative of everything that was around me, that came with it. And I'm so grateful for that because I didn't realize it, but I don't think I had ever done any kind of stretching for the first, 30 years of my life. So now, and then I ended up with back problems. I mean, really bad back problems. I had a herniated disc. I almost needed surgery. And, the chiropractor said to me, that's from sitting at a desk stressed out all day. You need to start doing more stuff. And I distinctly remember thinking when that chiropractor said to me that it's very possible I might not walk again due to my injury. This is many, many years ago, about 15 years ago. I remember thinking, how am I going to do this? I've just wasted so many opportunities. And if I can get back to just walking and being a normal, doing my daily thing, I'm going to climb the nearest mountain. And you know what? I did. And to this day, I don't ever take that for granted. I remember what it's like to be stuck in a bed thinking, am I ever going to get back outside? Am I ever going to be able to, enjoy life how I did before? And you know what? I did. And if it happens to you, you can too. You got to have a positive attitude. You got to literally visualize that it's going to happen, because that's what I did, and it did. And I'm obviously like very, very grateful for that. Because all these years later, I would say I'm pretty strong. I'm very aware of, I view it as like it's still a presence, the back issue. But I'm still able to get around and walk and run and ride a bike and do all that fun stuff. So again, another way that the outdoors kind of helped to move me along on my journey and help me evolve. So I would just suggest to you, when thinking about all of these things, how embracing what's around you outside can kind of improve and benefit your life, to just go out and do it. You don't even need to be listening to me talking anymore. You could just put your phone down, step away from your computer or your TV or whatever. Go outside, put on some gym shoes, grab a bottle of water, go outside and just start walking around your neighborhood. Look around, take it all in. Have you ever talked to your neighbors before? I mean, I know I'm not the best at that. Smile, wave. Simple gestures like that could totally make somebody's day. You don't even know it. They might be having a bad day, and just the fact that you waved to them made all the difference. Start there, and even if you are more experienced and you've been doing this stuff for a while, try something different. It's easy to get caught up in routines, but I think to grow and evolve, and I understand that, I have that too, but to grow and evolve, try something different. Go to a different place. Walk a little bit faster, walk a little bit slower. I think there's a safety in routines that we appreciate and understand, but challenge yourself. And that's really where the growth is. So I wish you the absolute best on your journey of exploration, and I encourage you to heartily embrace the outdoors because you never know what you're gonna see. I keep waiting for like some like animal to jump out. Like not the message I was going for. But hey, it can happen, so be alert. But I just know that I feel like it's a message I want to champion because the outdoors has been very good to me. Fresh air, beauty, hiking, bicycling, running, just give it a shot. Try something new, challenge yourself, watch yourself grow, and I wish you the absolute best on your journey. Take care. Thank you very much. Have a great day.